Have you ever wondered what is already written for you, long before you are ready to receive it? Because what I am about to share with you is not random. It is not coincidence. It is not entertainment. It is a message that was waiting for the exact moment you pressed play. And if you are here, listening, breathing, feeling something rising even if you cannot name it yet, then know this with absolute certainty. You were meant to hear this. Before anything begins, pause. Notice your heartbeat. Notice the quiet movement of your breath. Notice the energy in the space around you. There is a reason your soul brought you to this moment. Something inside you has been whispering for a long time. Something ancient, something patient, something powerful. And today, that whisper becomes a voice. This is not just a video. This is an initiation, a remembering, a sacred invitation to step forward into a future that is already aligned with your name. For those born under the constellation of Taurus, those who carry stubborn devotion and steady fire beneath calm skin, the year 2026 is not simply another chapter. It is a turning point, a cosmic doorway, a moment where the universe asks you, gently yet undeniably, are you ready to step into who you were always meant to become? Some of you may already feel this shift. You may have felt restless without explanation. You may have questioned your relationships, your work, your beliefs, your purpose. You may have felt like your old life is still happening, but it no longer fits the way it once did. Maybe you feel like you are walking around in clothing that once felt safe and comfortable, and now feels tight, heavy, outdated. If so, you are not lost. You are transitioning. You are evolving. You are preparing. Taurus is known for patience, loyalty, depth, and grounded commitment. But there is another side of Taurus that the world forgets. The part that is unshakable. The part that cannot be moved once clarity arrives. The part that rises from silence and becomes unstoppable. 2026 awakens that side. The rare side. The side that only emerges when destiny knocks. Every year has a vibration, a pulse, a lesson. But this year holds something unusual for those under this sign. It carries the energy of breakthrough, awakening, liberation, and spiritual authority. It brings endings that lead to beginnings, choices that lead to alignment, and truths that lead to transformation. You may feel pulled to connect with something higher. Your intuition will sharpen. Your dreams may become messages instead of memories. Your sensitivity may feel intense for a while, and that is not weakness. It is activation. When the soul evolves, the senses respond. When the universe speaks, your body listens. And in 2026, Taurus listens with clarity that cannot be ignored. Even now, as you hear these words, something in you recognizes them. Not because they are new, but because they are familiar. They belong to you. They are part of your blueprint, part of your spiritual identity. They are the echo of who you are becoming. So take a deep breath. Allow your heart to open. Allow your mind to soften. Allow your soul to lean into this. The road ahead is not ordinary, and neither are you. If you are still here, if something inside you feels awakened, seen, curious, or steady in knowing, leave a comment with these words: I am ready for what is mine. 1. The inner awakening begins. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the quiet becomes louder than the noise, when the things that once kept you comfortable begin to feel too small, when routine and stability which once provided safety now feel like limitations. In the year 2026, Taurus, that moment arrives for you, not with chaos, not with fear, but with a deep and undeniable awareness that something bigger is calling your name. It may begin with a question you cannot ignore. Am I living a life that reflects my truth, or am I living a life that reflects my habits? And once that question appears, nothing will ever feel the same again. This awakening is subtle but powerful. You may notice yourself observing your life with a new kind of clarity. Conversations that once felt normal now feel shallow. Choices you once made automatically now require intention. Even your body may respond with signals such as restlessness, intuition, sensitivity, or sudden surges of inner certainty. This is not confusion. This is alignment. It is your soul rising to the surface and saying, "It is time. Time to remember who you are beneath expectations, beneath survival, beneath everything the world told you to be." You are stepping into awareness. You are stepping into authenticity. And you will feel it first inside, long before anything outside of you begins to change. What makes this awakening unique is that it does not push you wildly forward. Instead, it feels like a steady invitation, a gentle pull toward a more meaningful version of yourself, a wiser version, a truer version. You may find old fears becoming softer and old dreams becoming louder. You may feel a new sense of connection to timing and intuition. Instead of forcing outcomes, you begin trusting the process. Instead of rushing, you begin listening. Instead of doubting, you begin remembering. This awakening is not the end of who you were. It is the revealing of who you are meant to become. 2. A rise in confidence and personal power. As this inner awakening unfolds, something remarkable happens. Your confidence begins to evolve. Not the kind of confidence that demands attention or approval. Instead, a silent and steady power grows within you. A knowing, a calm certainty, a feeling that you no longer need to prove anything to anyone, because you are finally beginning to understand your own worth. In 2026, Taurus steps into a new relationship with personal power. A deeper one, a grounded one, a confident one. This shift may surprise you. You may wake up one day and realize that something that once hurt you no longer affects you. You may notice that you no longer chase validation or cling to relationships that drain you. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop apologizing for your needs. You stop trying to convince anyone of your value. Because now, you feel it. You embody it. You carry it without needing permission. And when a Taurus reaches this level of inner stability, the world responds. People may begin treating you differently. Some will admire this strength and feel drawn closer. They will see your integrity, your loyalty, your depth. They will recognize the energy of someone who knows their direction. Others may feel intimidated or confused because the version of you they could once influence no longer exists. And this is not loss. This is alignment. When you elevate your self-worth, the universe removes everything that cannot rise with you. This new confidence is not temporary. It is foundational. It becomes a part of how you speak, how you love, how you choose, how you walk through the world. You begin trusting your intuition more than external noise. You begin following what feels right instead of what looks safe. You make choices with clarity instead of fear. And in this space, Taurus finally realizes something powerful. The world does not shape you. You shape the world around you through the energy you allow and the boundaries you honor. This rise in confidence marks the beginning of an entirely new chapter. You do not force change. You become ready for it. You do not chase destiny. You allow destiny to find you. Because once Taurus remembers their worth, they no longer ask permission to live a life that feels aligned with who they are becoming. They simply step forward and claim it. 3. The emotional release and the quiet ending of old cycles. There comes a time in life when the things we once held tightly begin to loosen their grip. Not because we stop caring, but because something inside us finally understands that holding on is costing more than letting go. In the year 2026, Taurus steps into a profound emotional release. This is not a dramatic collapse or a chaotic unraveling. It feels more like waking up one morning and realizing that the past no longer has the same weight. The memories are still there, but the attachment is different. It feels cleaner, softer, less personal. This release may come through a significant conversation, a goodbye you sensed was coming, or a quiet moment when you admit the truth to yourself without fear. There may be emotions that rise unexpectedly: nostalgia, tenderness, grief, relief. sometimes all at once. But instead of resisting, you begin to trust that this process is necessary. You allow yourself to feel without judging the feeling. You allow tears if they come. You allow silence when words cannot explain. And in that surrender, something beautiful happens. Peace begins to flow in the spaces where pain once lived. This emotional release is part healing and part transformation. It creates space. Space for clarity. Space for growth. Space for new people and new experiences that match who you are becoming, not who you used to be. You may notice patterns breaking, habits dissolving, and emotional triggers losing their power. Old attachments lose their meaning. Old expectations fade. You begin seeing your past not as a burden, but as a teacher. You realize that every ending was protecting you, guiding you, preparing you. And slowly, compassion replaces regret. Wisdom replaces confusion. Acceptance replaces resistance. You move forward not because you are forced to, but because you are ready. There is a soft strength in this phase, a quiet confidence that says, I honor what was, but I choose what will be. And when that moment arrives, Taurus feels lighter, not empty, not lost, but free. 4. The arrival of new connections and soul-level relationships. After emotional release comes one of the most meaningful phases of 2026 for Taurus, the arrival of relationships that feel destined. These connections are different. They have depth. They feel natural. There is an ease, a recognition, a quiet familiarity, as if your soul already knew theirs long before your mind understood it. These new connections can come through unexpected places. A conversation with a stranger that feels strangely significant. A meeting that feels orchestrated by something greater than coincidence. A reconnection with someone from your past, now aligned in timing and maturity. Or a completely new presence who carries the energy of support, expansion, curiosity, and truth. The people who appear now are part of the next chapter of your evolution. They show up to help you grow, challenge you gently, and remind you who you are when you forget. This is also a year where Taurus becomes more selective and intentional with relationships. You no longer seek quantity. You desire depth. You value emotional intelligence, honesty, loyalty, and shared values. You become drawn to those who respect your boundaries, honor your energy, and speak with authenticity rather than performance. And because of this inner shift, your outer world begins to reflect it. The right people stay. The aligned people arrive. The meaningful connections strengthen. Some of these relationships may be romantic. Some may be friendships. Some may be mentors or creative partners. And some may be soul family you never expected to find. What all of them share is purpose. These connections are not distractions. They are openings, pathways, mirrors that reflect the strongest parts of you. You will recognize them not through logic, but through feeling, a calm certainty, a sense of home, a presence that requires no pretending. These relationships are not here to repeat the past. They are here to support the future you are stepping into. They help you rise. They expand your confidence. They awaken purpose. And above all, they remind you that you were never walking alone. Something larger has been guiding every step, every ending, every new beginning. 5. The transformation of finances and material stability. There is a powerful shift that unfolds in the year 2026 regarding your relationship with abundance and material security. For Taurus, stability is more than comfort. It is emotional peace. It is foundation. It is the feeling of knowing you are supported and safe. During this period, you begin to approach money and resources differently. Not from fear, not from pressure, but from awareness and intention. You start asking yourself important questions. What do I truly value? What deserves my investment? What aligns with my long-term vision rather than temporary satisfaction? This year brings opportunities, but they require participation. This is not a time where abundance simply appears without effort. It is a time where your mindset becomes the key that unlocks new levels of prosperity. You may notice yourself becoming more confident in negotiation, more comfortable asking for what you deserve, and more willing to walk away from situations that undervalue you. Suddenly, decisions that once felt intimidating become clear. You realize that accepting less is no longer an option because you finally recognize the strength of your own time, skill, and energy. There may also be financial breakthroughs through career shifts, business expansion, investments, or projects that align with your natural strengths. Taurus energy is patient and consistent, and in 2026 that patience begins to pay off. You begin to see long-term seeds bloom. You may step into leadership roles, self-employment, or creative work that carries impact. For some, financial growth comes through learning how to receive instead of always being the provider. For others, it comes through structure, discipline, and long-term planning. Whatever the path, the message is the same. You are entering a season of empowered resource flow, not scarcity. More importantly, your emotional relationship with money evolves. It no longer feels like control. It becomes collaboration. You begin to understand that abundance responds to worthiness, and worthiness is something you now claim with confidence. There is no rush, no panic, no desperation. There is awareness. There is grounded faith. There is expansion that feels earned and aligned, and Taurus steps into this phase with strength, clarity, and a renewed sense of personal responsibility. 6. The reconnection to the physical body and sacred embodiment. While the mind shifts and the spirit awakens, the body begins its own transformation. In 2026, you become more aware of your physical vessel, how you move, what you consume, how you rest, what you allow into your energetic space. There is a growing desire to feel present in your body rather than disconnected from it. This is not about perfection or appearance. It is about care, respect, and embodiment. You may feel drawn to movement practices that ground you, such as walking in nature, stretching, mindful exercise, or somatic practices that help release stored emotional tension. You may also notice changes in appetite, cravings, sleep cycles, or sensitivity to certain environments. Your body begins to communicate more openly, and for the first time in a long time, you listen with patience rather than frustration. This reconnection is deeply spiritual. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of pleasure, beauty, and sensual awareness. That means this year invites you to rediscover comfort through presence rather than habit. Food becomes nourishment instead of escape. Rest becomes ritual instead of guilt. Stillness becomes clarity instead of avoidance. You begin to treat your body as a sacred partner, not an afterthought. There may also be moments of vulnerability, especially as stored emotions rise to be released. Sometimes the body remembers what the mind forgets, and through breath, movement, or stillness, healing begins to take root. As you reconnect with your physical self, confidence grows differently. It does not come from external validation. It comes from alignment. You walk differently. You speak differently. You choose differently, because you feel grounded in who you are and present in the experience of living. This deep embodiment becomes one of the greatest gifts of this year. It prepares you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually for the next chapters ahead. You begin to experience life not just in thought, but through sensation, intuition, and inner knowing. And that shift awakens a level of personal power that can only emerge when mind, spirit, and body finally move together with harmony. 7. The spiritual calling and the awakening of intuition. There comes a point when logic alone is no longer enough, when the mind steps aside and the soul steps forward. In the year 2026, Taurus begins to experience a profound spiritual shift, not because someone tells you to seek it, but because something within you naturally moves in that direction. You begin sensing meaning in the small things, patterns, signs, repeating numbers, vivid dreams. unexpected clarity. It feels as if the universe is speaking in a language you are finally ready to understand. This awakening does not feel forced or overwhelming. Instead, it arrives gently, like a memory you forgot you had. You may find yourself drawn to practices that deepen connection with something greater than the physical world. Meditation may feel easier, nature may speak louder, silence may become a companion rather than emptiness. Even your intuition begins to guide decisions before your mind analyzes them. You start trusting your inner knowing, even when there is no logical explanation, because now you can feel the truth rather than search for it externally. During this time, you may also question beliefs you once accepted without thought, not out of rebellion, but out of growth. You want authenticity in every part of your life, including your spiritual connection. The need for structure and predictability softens, and you become more open to the unseen, the subtle, and the energetic. It becomes clear that everything in your life has been connected by timing and purpose. Nothing was random, nothing was wasted. Every setback, every delay, every ending was preparing you for the alignment now unfolding. For Taurus, this spiritual phase may feel like finally remembering your place in something vast and intelligent. You do not feel small, you feel supported, guided, seen. You begin to embody a calm confidence that comes from knowing you are connected to something greater than yourself. And from that connection, your intuition becomes one of your most powerful tools in every decision, every relationship, and every step forward. 8. Reinvention of identity and the emergence of a new self. There is a moment in growth when you look at your life and realize you are no longer the same person you used to be. In 2026, Taurus experiences that moment in a very real way. This is not a sudden transformation. It is a gradual unveiling, a peeling away of expectations, fears, and outdated versions of yourself that no longer match your truth. The identity you once wore for survival begins to fall away, and the identity aligned with your purpose begins to rise. You may feel inspired to change the way you express yourself. This could show up in how you communicate, how you dress, how you move, or even how you show up in relationships. You may set boundaries more clearly. You may speak with more conviction. You may walk away from what drains you and move toward what energizes you. There is a sense of choosing yourself without guilt, not because you no longer care about others, but because you finally care about yourself in a deeper and more intentional way. This reinvention can also show up in career or lifestyle. You may leave something that once defined you, a job, a routine, a belief, a role you outgrew. Instead of choosing stability for comfort, you begin choosing alignment for fulfillment. You understand now that real security comes from authenticity, not from staying in places where your soul has stopped growing. And the courage to change does not come from pressure. It comes from inner certainty. As this new version of yourself emerges, something shifts in the way the world responds to you. People see your confidence differently. Opportunities begin to appear that match your new frequency. You attract experiences that reflect who you are becoming rather than who you were. And with every step, you feel more aligned, more grounded, and more connected to your truth. This stage is not about abandoning your past. It is about evolving beyond it. It is about stepping into the version of yourself you were always meant to become once you released fear, embraced change, and trusted the timing of your own growth. 9. The breakthrough and the moment everything aligns. There is always a point in a journey where the effort, the waiting, the lessons, and the inward work come together in a way that feels almost unreal. For Taurus in the year 2026, that moment is the breakthrough. It may arrive quietly, or it may come with a feeling so powerful that it takes your breath away. Either way, it carries a deep sense of recognition. It feels like clarity. It feels like truth. It feels like something finally unlocking that you have been sensing for a long time. This breakthrough is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is timing, alignment, and readiness coming together. You will notice doors opening that were once firmly shut. You will recognize opportunities not by chance, but by familiarity. You may even find yourself thinking, "I knew this was meant for me," even when I could not see how it would happen. It may show up in career, in love, in purpose, in personal confidence, or in a profound internal realization that changes everything. The breakthrough brings a sense of inevitability, a knowing that things are shifting in a direction that reflects who you truly are. For some, this moment may come through a decision, a yes, a risk, a step forward that felt impossible before. For others, it may come through allowing something instead of forcing it, letting life meet you rather than chasing life. And in that surrender, something finally gives way. You step into a new frequency, and it feels liberating. You feel aligned with timing rather than fighting against it. You stop asking if you are ready and begin understanding that readiness is a state of acceptance, not control. The breakthrough marks the turning point of your year. It becomes the moment where the future begins to take shape in a way that feels inspired, grounded, and purposeful. You feel the universe shift around you. You feel supported. You feel validated. And more importantly, you feel like you are stepping into a life that reflects your evolution, not your past limitations. 10. Alignment with purpose and the beginning of a higher path. After the breakthrough comes a deeper transformation, one that radiates from within and extends into every part of your life. This final phase of 2026 is the alignment with purpose. Not the surface idea of purpose that people talk about casually, but the true inner calling that connects your gifts, your wounds, your growth, and your spirit. It feels like coming home to yourself. During this time, you may find yourself drawn toward work or experiences that carry meaning. You begin asking yourself different questions. What impact do I want to create? What feels aligned with my values? What supports the life I want to build moving forward? There is a shift from survival to intention, from routine to fulfillment, from fear to trust. Purpose does not feel like pressure. It feels like direction. This alignment also affects your relationships and environment. You surround yourself with people who inspire growth rather than maintain comfort. You seek environments that reflect peace, truth, and expansion. You no longer tolerate anything that dims your spirit or blocks your evolution. There is a sense of choosing life consciously rather than moving through it on autopilot. What makes this phase powerful is that it is not temporary motivation. It is identity-level transformation. You begin embodying your values, not just speaking them. Your actions match your intentions. Your energy attracts what fits and repels what does not. You feel grounded in your choices, clear in your direction, and calm in uncertainty. Purpose gives you something no external validation ever could. It gives you connection to your soul. And as this year unfolds, you realize something profound. Every challenge, every transition, every moment of doubt was preparing you for this alignment. You were not delayed. You were being prepared. You were not lost. You were being guided. And now, you are exactly where you are meant to be. There comes a moment at the end of every journey where you pause, not to question, not to doubt, but to acknowledge how far you have traveled. Taurus, take a breath. Look at everything we have explored. The awakening, the emotional release, the arrival of new relationships, the rise in confidence, the spiritual calling, the breakthrough, the alignment with purpose. None of these things are random. None of these transformations are accidental. They are a reflection of who you are becoming, not who you once were. The year 2026 is not simply a chapter. It is a shift in identity, a sacred initiation, a return to your deepest truth. Maybe somewhere along the way, you questioned whether you were ready, whether you were strong enough, whether you deserved the life your heart kept imagining. But now, after everything revealed here, you can feel something different, not just with your mind, but with your body, with your intuition, with your breath. You are stepping into a life that reflects your worth, your growth, and your spiritual maturity. There is no need to chase, no need to force, no need to rush. What is meant for you recognizes you. What is aligned with your energy finds you. What belongs in your story remains effortlessly. And if there is one truth I want you to carry with you after this, it is this: you are not here to simply exist. You are here to evolve. You are here to love deeply. You are here to create, to expand, to experience life with fullness and presence. You are here to walk your path with both grace and strength. You are here to honor every lesson life has shaped you with. You are here to live from your soul, not from fear. You are here to rise, always rise. The year ahead will not ask you to become someone else. Instead, it will ask you to remember who you have always been. The universe is not testing you, it is preparing you. It is guiding you toward opportunities that match your frequency. It is supporting you with signs, intuition, and synchronicity. It is shifting everything that no longer serves your spirit because you are stepping into a life that reflects authenticity, integrity, and purpose. The version of you that walks forward from here is stronger, wiser, and more aligned than any version that came before. So as this message comes to a close, place one hand over your heart and allow one final truth to settle deeply within you. You are worthy of the life you dream of. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of alignment. You are worthy of love that feels safe and expansive. You are worthy of abundance that does not require depletion. You are worthy of happiness that does not need explanation. You are worthy simply because you exist. Walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with courage. Walk forward with calm knowing. Let the world see the version of you that has always existed beneath fear, beneath hesitation, beneath everything you outgrew. This is your time. This is your season. This is your transition into a destiny that has been waiting patiently for you to be ready. And now, you are. If this message resonated with your soul, honor that feeling. Stay open, stay curious, stay connected. And when you are ready for more guidance, more clarity, and more spiritual insight, explore the other videos on this channel. There is more here for you. More wisdom, more alignment, more truth. Until then, remember this: you are not walking toward your future, you are becoming it.